ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा। ईश्वर भक्ति भाव से बहती संस्कारों की धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा, ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी, वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
चंदन है इस देश की माटी, चंदन है इस देश की माटी। तपोभूमि हर गाँव है, हर माला देवी की प्रतिमा, हर माला देवी की प्रतिमा। बच्चा बच्चा राम है, बच्चा बच्चा राम है। चंदन है इस देश की माटी, तपोभूमि हर गाँव है, तपोभूमि हर गाँव है। हर माला देवी की प्रतिमा, हर माला देवी की प्रतिमा। बच्चा बच्चा राम है, बच्चा बच्चा राम है। हर शरीर मंदिर सा पावन, हर शरीर मंदिर सा पावन। हर मानव उपकारी है, हर मानव उपकारी है। कहाँ सिंह बन गए खिलौने, कहाँ सिंह बन गए खिलौने। गाय जहाँ माँ प्यारी है, गाय जहाँ माँ प्यारी है। जहाँ सवेरा शंख बजाता, जहाँ सवेरा शंख बजाता। लोरी गाती शाम है, लोरी गाती शाम
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
जो भी अपने पास है वह धन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
देने वाले ने दिया वह भी दिया किस शान से।
मेरा है यह लेने वाला कह उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा है यह लेने वाला कह उठा अभिमान से।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मेरा यह कहने वाला मन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
मैं नहीं मेरा नहीं यह तन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया।
धन किसी का है दिया।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारि। बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर। राम दूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन बिराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महा महा जगबंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर, राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया, राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंह दिखावा, बिकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे, रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए, श्री रघुबीर हर्षि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई, तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम्हरो जस गावै, अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा, नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल, जहाँ ते कपि कोविद ग्रहि सके कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव हीना, राम मिलाय राजपति महा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना, लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु, लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि, जलधि लांघि गए अचर जनाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते, सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे
ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिवे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिवे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज संवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माही जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपे तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा, तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे, सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा, है पर सिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे, असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता, असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा, सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
जय श्री कृष्णा। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु, गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः। गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म, तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। Bowing down to all our gurus and Param Pujya Swami Shri Govindadev Giriji Maharaj before the start of the program. A warm welcome to all the sadhaks before the start of the program. A warm welcome to all for the interpretation session of the second part of chapter 5, Karma Sannyasi Yoga. Let's start our session with prayer. Prayer is considered to be an integral part of our culture, and it's an expression of our devotion. And today, Umadevi Sri Ramaji from Madanapalli, Andhra Pradesh, is going to recite the prayer. Didi is with Geeta Pariwar from 2021 and is doing seva as technical assistant and co-trainer. Let's invoke the blessings of Lord Krishna. Umadidi, please.
Namaste. जय श्री कृष्ण। वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं, देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
Thank you, Didi, for that melodious prayer. Now it's time for Deepa Prajawalan. Shubham karoti kalyanam, arogyam dhana sampadam, shatru buddhi vinashaya, deepajyotir namostute. That means I bow down to the light of the lamp, which brings wellness, health and prosperity and destroy enemies and bad thoughts. I bow down again and again to the light. May I request B. Madhaviji from Palakullu, Andhra Pradesh, to do the honors. Didi is a homemaker and joined Geeta Pariwar in April 2023. Didi is giving seva as co-trainer. Didi, please.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः, करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः। विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः, प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम्। शरदिन्दु योनिभां शुभ्रां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः।
जी दीदी।
Yeah, once.
Yeah दीदी।
So, thank you for the devotional and beautiful Deepa Prajawalan Didi. I would like to inform all the participants that after the Vivechan, you may ask questions. Raise your hands only after the session is over, please. Now it's time for the most anticipated part of this session. As you all know, Vikas Bhaiya will be dwelling on the second part of 5th chapter, Karma Sannyasi Yoga. Vikas Vaidya ji is from Pune. Vikas ji is a mechanical engineer and has done PGDBM also. He owns a small IT company. He is a multilinguistic with knowledge of Hindi, Marathi, English, Indonesian, Malaysian, and Spanish. He has been reciting all 18 chapters of Geeta daily for the last 6 years. Bhaiya is a trainer for L1 to L4 and trainer's trainer for all levels. He is also involved in teaching and vivechan of Vishnu Sahasranamam. Vikas ji also gives guidance to Geeta Vratis to prepare for Sringeri Peeth Geeta exam. Bhaiya himself has received first prize at the hands of Param Pujya Jagat Guru Shankaracharya. Over to you, Vikas Bhaiya.
जय श्री कृष्ण। वसुदेव वसुदं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन। We are discussing Adhyay 5th, Karma Sannyasi Yoga. Last time we had done up to slok number 13. We start with slok number 14. We have to cover many slokas today. So without losing much time, we start with slok 14. न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफल संयोगं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते। No, never. Kartrutvam, that means the proprietorship, the ownership of the karma. Karma, kartrutva abhiman. Karmani, karmani is karma, activities. Lokasya, of the people. Srujati, someone who creates. Prabhu, master of the city, the body. No, not karma phala, result of your activities, return reward of your activities. Karma phala. Sanyogam is connection. Swabhavastu, the basic mode of the nature, the innate nature, that is Swabhav. Pravartate, pravartate is to act. So Paramatma says, the Lord does not create the human misconception of doership. I don't tell you to claim doership. You are claiming on your own. Paramatma says, the Lord does not create the human misconception of doership, neither does he create karma. I am not creating karma either. Nor does he induce people to perform karma or action. Nor does he bestow the resultant fruits of the actions. That means Paramatma says, I am not involved in anything. You create your own doership thought in your mind. You do your own karmas. I don't induce people to do karmas, nor do I give you fruits of your karmas. Rather, this is all happening at the behest of Prakriti and its gunas. Prakriti and its gunas, they are getting it done from you. I am not involved, Paramatma says. So the Lord says, even the God is a non-doer. Neither did he create the karma, nor does he make you perform karma, nor does he give you the fruits of your karma. Now this is a very revolutionary shloka, because people believe that whenever good or bad they receive, it is God who is the giver, the doer. And Shri Krishna dispels in this shloka this notion categorically, stating that neither does God give anything, nor does he take anything. Prakriti creates three gunas, sattva, rajo, tamo. The physical body was created from tamo guna. The senses were created from Rajoguna, and the Sattva Guna created the mind and the intellect. And the body, senses, and mind started to function in accordance with their innate nature. But it is you who are responsible for your thought process, be the thought be auspicious or inauspicious. That freedom of thinking and performing karma is given to you by the Prakriti, by the God. God says, I am not responsible for this. You will reap as you sow. Thus, whether it is auspicious or inauspicious, the onus is on you only. Don't transfer it to the God. If you carry unmeritorious acts, the consequences will lead you to the pain, suffering. And if you perform meritorious act, they will bear fruits of happiness for you. But who will decide what you will think? None other than you yourself. God is not the creator of your thoughts. You are thinking on your own. God says, I am not creating thoughts in you. Prakriti created the mind and the intellect. But it is you who links this I with the mind, intellect, and thus become the doer of actions and bearer of its consequences. If you are the doer, then bear the consequences, be it good or bad. God says, God is just the witness. God bestows neither happiness nor unhappiness. If there is happiness in your life today, then that is the consequences of your own previous karmas. God says, I have nothing to do with that. Likewise, if your life is full of misery and suffering, then that too is the fruit of your own previous karmas. God has nothing to do with this. Thus, don't blame the God. God is not a person. It's not a character. God is a force. God is not an individual character who can be pleased or displeased. Prakriti functions based on the energy received from the God. And then it is the Prakriti that creates this entire phenomenal world. Your body, your mind, your intellect is all created by Prakriti. You then carry out doing the karmas based on the thoughts that come to your mind, and then keep reaping what you have sown in the form of fruits of your karma. The crucial point is, though the Prakriti created this body, mind, and intellect, Prakriti did not create this sense of I in you. This I am thought, Prakriti has not given it to you. You have created and that linked this I am to the body, mind, and intellect. Moreover, because you created this sense of I am, the sense of doership, it is only you who can destroy, relinquish, or eradicate it. You have created, no? So you have the onus to create, destroy it, to eradicate it. No one else can do it. No one else can do it for you. You have started this story of I am, I am, I am. So you have to finish this story, not the God. God says, I am not involved in this. So this is a wonderful shloka. We go to next shloka now, 15th shloka. Na datte kasyachit papan na chaiva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnanena vrata ijnanan tena muhyanti jantavaha. Na datte, na never, adatte. Adatte is to accept, kasyachit, anyone's, papam, papam seen, no, neither, sukrutam, the pious activity, punya karma, vibhu, vibhu the Paramatma, the Supreme Lord, ajnanena, ajnan is ignorance, avrutam, avrutam is to get covered, jnanam, jnanam, the knowledge, tena, tena, by that, muhyanti, confused, getting bewildered, jantava, we are called jantu by Paramatma in this shloka, we are jantus. So living entities are called jantus. So Paramatma says, all the pervasive Lord takes neither the merit nor the demerit of anyone. But all beings are deluded, confused because of the ignorance of Maya, which envelops, shrouds the higher knowledge in them. We have the knowledge, but it is covered by our ignorance, our ajnan. See, in earlier shloka, the Lord has clearly stated that neither does God create karma, nor does he instigate anyone into carrying out karma, and nor is he the giver of fruits of anyone's karma. The Lord says that everyone is responsible for his karma, then be it meritorious or unmeritorious. Thus, it is you who will have to accept the fruits of your karma. No one can take this on your behalf. You have done the karma, you have to accept the fruits of karma. Now the question arises then, why the man does any auspicious or inauspicious karma in the first place? Why does he do it? If the God is not instigator, then why do the beings perform the karma? This is because their knowledge is covered by the cloak of ignorance. See, in villages, after the women finish cooking the food on chulha, that coal-fired hot plate, in villages, they cover the fire with the layer of ash, so that the fire is put out but not completely extinguished. The deeper coal chunks, it keeps simmering, and when that lady, woman in the village, she wants to cook again, she will remove the ash and blow the air by mouth on the simmering coal, which makes the fire blaze again. This example I have given. In this shloka, the Lord says that the knowledge is covered by ignorance, like that simmering coal was covered by ash. Taking the analog of chulha, which the Guru imparts to you, the message, the training, the knowledge that Guru imparts to you is akin to the air blown on that simmering coal chunk. That coal chunk which is there, which is simmering, on that whatever air you are blowing by air by your mouth, it is akin to the Guru imparting you the knowledge. But the fire of knowledge is already simmering within you. The Guru has to remove the ash, the ignorance. Then the knowledge comes out. Like that coal again start blazing the fire, the Jnana again comes from within you. Why? Because you are embodiment of the knowledge. You have the knowledge. Your very essence is the knowledge. And the Guru's words of knowledge are like the puff of air which removes the ash of that ignorance, and thus the fire of knowledge blazes in its glory. So this is Nadatte kasachit papa nacheva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnanena vrtai jnanan tena mujyanti jantava. I don't take anything, neither good or bad. Paramatma says in this shloka. We go to next shloka, 16. Anena tu tadajnanai yeshan nashitamatmanah teshamaditya vajnanam prakasheti tatparam. Jnanena, the knowledge, tata, that, ajnanam, ignorance, yesham, whose, nashitam, destroyed, atmanah, of the self, tesham, their, adityavat, aditya surya, so adityavat, like the rising sun, jnanam, knowledge, prakashayati, bringing it to the light, to disclose, tatparam, knowledge of the self. So Paramatma says in this shloka, however, the one whose ignorance of antakaran has been destroyed by the knowledge of the self, atmajnan, one who has got that atmajnan, knowledge of self, his ignorance in the antakaran has been destroyed. Then just as the sun reveals everything in the daylight, it is pitch dark in the night. When the sun starts rising in the morning from the east side, everything becomes to the light. It comes to the light. So when that knowledge of the self is there within you, when it comes to the fore, the knowledge reveals the supreme Parabrahma within you. Now what is ignorance? Ajnan. It is identifying the self with the body is ignorance, is ajnan. And what is wisdom? What is jnana? It is regarding these two, that means the body and the self, as two different separate entities, is jnana. The self always remains the same, while the sense of I, mine, keeps on changing. When we were children, we used to say, this toy is mine, that small car is mine, that book is mine, this is mine, that is mine. When we grow in the age, then we say, this money is mine, this property is mine, wife is mine, kids are mine. So this my, mine, it keeps on changing. while this self, it never changes. When the sadhak knows this self never changes and I, mine keep on changing, this is the knowledge or discrimination. When sadhak realizes the reality through this discrimination, that is called destruction of ignorance by the knowledge. When you know that this self never changes, but your concept of I, mine keeps on changing, so whatever is constant with you, you bow down to that self, and that is removing your ignorance by the knowledge. You see, you don't have to bring knowledge from somewhere outside. All you have to do is to eradicate the ignorance and the inner knowledge which emerge. Like the blazing sun. There is no distance between you and the Supreme Lord. The illusion of distance has been created by the ignorance. Thus, all you have to do is to remove this cloak of ignorance and see that knowledge, and then in its radiance abide the bliss. So it is for us to remove our own ignorance through our own intellect and then see the knowledge that is hidden within us. Like that ash we have said in the chula of the village. But when we receive that knowledge like a puff of air, then the knowledge comes out. And then everything becomes clear. Like when the sun rises, everything becomes bright and clear. So when the knowledge emerges from within us, everything becomes nice and clear for us also. Let us go to next shloka now. Shloka number 17. Tad buddhayas tadatmanas tannishthas tatparayanaha gacchante punaravratne jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. Tad buddhaya. Those whose intelligence is always in Paramatma. Tad buddhaya. Tat atmanaha. Those whose minds are always in the Supreme, that is in the God, that is Tat Atmanaha. Tat Nishtha. Those whose faith is always in the Supreme, that is Tat Nishtha. And Tat Parayana, who have completely taken shelter of the Supreme, of the God. So Tat Buddhaya, Tat Atmana, Tat Nishtha, and Tat Parayana. Gachanti. Gachanti is to go. Apunaravartin. Never to come back. Never to come back means you go to liberation, salvation, moksha. Jnana, by knowledge. Nirdhuta, cleansed, washed out. What? Kalmashaha. Kalmashaha is papa karma, your misgivings. So Paramatma says, the one whose intellect and mind is established in the Supreme Brahma, who has unshakable faith in the Supreme Truth, all his delusions and sins are dispelled by the Supreme Knowledge. He attains a stage from which there is no return. Apunaravarti, no return. And thus he successfully trades on the path of liberation. Now what is Tad Buddhaya? A devotee, a sadhak whose intellect has a firm conviction that Lord pervades everywhere. He existed before the universe was created. He exists now and he will continue to exist even when the universe will cease to exist. This is Tad Buddhaya. When your intellect is firmly rooted in this thought, you can say you are following the principle of Tad Buddhaya. Then what is Tadatmana? When your Antakaran, what is Antakaran? We discussed it in last session also. The unit of mind, intellect, subconscious and aham is Antakaran. So when your Antakaran resolves that only the Lord pervaded everywhere, then his mind automatically thinks of him only, because there is nothing other than him. So when the mind is deeply rooted in this thought, you can say Tadatmana. And what is Tannishtha? When the mind and intellect of the devotee are absorbed in God only, then he has deep faith in the God only. So when mind and intellect are deeply rooted in God, definitely your nishtha, your faith automatically comes in the God only. So that is Tannishtha. And what is that Parayanaha? When the devotee, instead of having a separate identity, becomes one with the God, merges in the God. He doesn't maintain his separate identity at all. Advaita bhav is gone and Advaita bhav has come. Dvaita is you and me are different. I am different, Paramatma is different. And Advaita Bhava is me and Paramatma are same. So when this is getting merged in you, then he becomes embodiment of the God only. So this is Tat Parayana. Jnana Nirdhuta Kalmashaha. Through knowledge of real and unreal, the devotee gets rid of unreal. What is unreal? This body is unreal. This universe is unreal. And what is real? Paramatma is real. Our Jivatma is real. It is because of this affinity for the unreal that he commits sins and gets bondaged. When his affinity for the unreal is totally renounced, given up, relinquished, finished, his sins are totally wiped out. All sins accrue on our account due to our affinity either to the body or to the universe, to the samsara. When our affinity is to the Paramatma, we will never commit any sin. When our affinity is to our Jivatma, we will never commit any sin. So, this is how Paramatma says. Now, the Lord says, once your intellect, your mind becomes one with the Supreme Divinity, that is Paramatma, once your faith gets steadfastly established in the absolute truth, then the knowledge will dispel all the sins. That knowledge will dispel all the sins. The darkness of ignorance, the cloud of sins can be dispersed only by your knowledge. Nothing else can disperse. That is why understand the paramount significance of knowledge so that your mind and your intellect gets continuously absorbed in the divine contemplation. But this needs efforts. It won't happen on its own. Even if you err or you forget, don't lose your heart. Rather, pull your socks up and start again and again and yet again until your mind, your intellect does not become one with the Supreme Divinity, until your conviction in the knowledge does not become steadfastly resolute. Yes, this is what I want to pursue. So that kind of conviction has to be there within you before you start marching on the path of spirituality. 18th shloka. Vidya vinay sampanne brahmane gavihastini shunichaivashvapake cha pandita samadharshinaha. Paramatma says, this is a wonderful shloka which teaches us samatma yoga uchyate, how you to look in equanimity, how to remain equipoised to all people with whom we deal. Vidya, the education, the knowledge. Vinay, the gentleness, the humbleness. Sampanne, fully equipped with. Sampanna. Brahmane, the Brahman, the person. That means Gavi. Gavi means cow. Hastini means the elephant. Shuni means the dog. Swapak. Swapak means the Chandal, the dog eater. Person who hangs people in the jail, that is a Chandal. They are believed to be eating dog, so they are dog eaters. Pandita, those who are wise. Samadarshanaha, who sees with equal vision. So this shloka, one of the principal foundation shlokas of Bhagavad Gita, by virtue of higher knowledge, the jnani looks with an equal eye. That means he is equipoised upon a Brahmin who is endowed with wisdom and humility. Vidya vinay sampanne. Gavi, cow, an elephant, a dog, and a Chandal. That is an outcast person. So it is only when you get the higher knowledge that you can learn as to how to remain equipoised to all these different characters. Whether it is a Vidya Vinaya Sampanna Brahman, whether it is a cow, whether it is an elephant, whether it is a Chandal, whatever it is. The Lord is describing the state of jnanis. That means the self-realized people for whom everything and everyone is a manifest form of the formless Parabrahma. He sees Parabrahma in everyone. Paramatma is unmanifest, and this world is the manifest form of Parabrahma. And Jnani knows this. So Jnani looks for Parabrahma in every place that he sees in this universe. Because he sees this universe as a manifestation of Parabrahma only. We worship the cow as our holy mother. But a dog to, should we equate dog and cow? For many people, particularly Hindus, it is inauspicious to keep a dog in your home. But the Lord is saying that one who has received the prasad of knowledge, to him, there is no difference between a cow and a dog. Who is a Chandal and the outcast person? The one who has anger and very high ego is a Chandal. On the other hand, the one who does japa, tapa, who contemplates upon Parabrahma is a Brahmin. The difference between Brahmin and Chandal is thus of knowledge alone. But the one can see everyone with equal regard only when one is firmly established in that supreme divinity, who sees that supreme divinity in all the beings. Only he can get deeply rooted in this thought of equanimity. The foundation of Gita philosophy is Samatma Yoga Uchyate, which we learn in second Attaining for equanimity. This is because the sadhak firmly believes in Paramatma's statement, Mama Ivanshu Jiva Loke, which is given in Adhyay 15th. We have seen this Adhyay. When Paramatma is present in all, who am I to differentiate between them? That Paramatma contained in this person is superior to Paramatma contained in that person. Who am I to say this? Equanimity is not child's play. To get this thought deeply rooted of equanimity is not child play. Quality of God himself. Equanimity is the quality of God. Paramatma never differentiates between people. And if we can acquire this quality of equanimity, then we are acquiring the quality of God. The Lord says those whose minds get rooted, deeply rooted in equanimity, they overcome the world. Overcome the world in the sense, which world? This world of birth and death, this cycle. And they realize the absolute ultimate truth, that is the God. Because having acquired the attribute of God, obviously, you don't come back again in this world. You have become close to the God then. And how to attain this equanimity? When others' pains and pleasures become your pains and pleasures, when you firmly believe in God's statement that Sarvasachaham Hridasannavishto, He is in me and the same He is in others as well. With this thought only, you can get deeply rooted in the thought of equanimity. Okay, next shloka, shloka number 19. Ihaiva tairjita sargo yesham samye sthitam manaha nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmad brahmani te sthitaha. Iha means in this manushloka, in this life, tai, by them, jitaha. Jita is conquered. Sarga, sarga means birth and death cycle. Yesham, whose samye, in equanimity, Brahma, Parabrahma, Paramatma, Tasmat, therefore, that's why Brahmani, in the supreme, Te means they, Sthitaha means situated. So this shloka says, Paramatma says, now Paramatma explains the glory of equanimity. The glory of equanimity in this shloka. He says, in this very life, Ihaiva, here, in this life only, everything in this world is conquered by those whose minds rest in equanimity and equality. What a great attribute is this. If we can acquire this, nothing like it. Equanimity and equality, they are as flawless as the flawless and equanimous Parabrahma is. It is a Parabrahma attribute quality. If we acquire this, then we become as flawless as the God himself. And thus they are established in the Parabrahma, obviously. So the mind rests in equanimity only when the intellect gets established in the absolute truth. And such a person lives in this world as if he has surmounted, he has won the whole world. But there is no egoism in this victory also. Because the Parabrahma he contemplates upon is immaculately unblemished, flawless. The ego doesn't come in the picture when you are thinking of Parabrahma. Once a Swamiji was standing at the crossroad of a city. A passerby asked the Swamiji, I need to visit the divine. Would you please show me the way? Swamiji said, why not? Yes. Go straight from here, then turn right, walk a little, and then you come to a lane. Turn left, go ahead. And then when you come to a wide road, keep walking straight and you will reach there. The passerby thanked him, and Swamiji remained where he was enjoying the winter sun. He was standing there only. Half an hour later, the passerby returned to the same place, saying that, Swamiji, why did you fool me? You kept me going circles and circles, and here I am again. Swamiji replied, look, I was testing you. If you were doing what I told you, you have passed. You have passed the test, and now I will show you the way you are asking. So, Jnani is never egoistic. And the one who is egoistic can never be a Jnani. That is why Jnani and egoism never go hand in hand. It entails that if you become a Jnani, you will have to give up your ego. Because both this cannot coexist. There is no other way. You have to drop one, either the knowledge or the ego. The two cannot coexist. And as Bhagavad-Gītā says, the choice is yours. Gita never forces you on doing anything. Gita only gives you, shows you the mirror. If you do this, you get this. If you do that, you get that. Choice is yours. You decide. Okay, we go to the next shloka now. Slok number 20. न प्रवृष्येत् प्रियं प्राप्य नोद्विजयेत् प्राप्य च प्रियं स्थिरबुद्धिर्सम्मूढो ब्रह्मविद् ब्रह्मणि स्थितः. In that shloka of Vidya Vinay Sampanne Brahmane Gavyastini Shunichaiva Shlokakecha Pandita Samadarjana, we discussed the concept of external equanimity. When you are dealing with people outside, how to remain equipoised with them. Now this shloka, Na Pravrushyet Prem Prapya, teaches us how to remain equipoised with our own sentiments, with our own emotions. So, no means never. Pravrushy. Pravrushy means to rejoice. Priyam. Priyam is the pleasant, desirable thing. Prapya. Prapya is achieving. Udvijet. Udvijet, to become agitated. Slightly angry, agitated. Prapya. Obtaining. Apriyam. Unpleasant, unfavorable. Sthira buddhi. The firmness in your understanding. Asammudha. Person who is not confused, unbewildered. Brahmavid. Vid is to know. Brahma is the knowledge. So the knowledge of the God. The knower of the God, rather. The knower of the God, Brahmavid. Brahmani. Brahman is the God. Sthita, situated. So Paramatma says, fully established in Parabrahma with an equanimous, steady intellect and devoid of delusions, confusions. A self-realized being is never bewildered, and neither does he rejoice on obtaining that is pleasant, nor does he bemoan or get agitated that is unpleasant. In both the situations, whether it is favorable or unfavorable, he remains equipoised. Whether it is pleasant or unpleasant, he remains equipoised. So Jnani does not rejoice on getting something which the world deems as pleasant, pleasurable. And neither does he get saddened or aggrieved on getting something which the world deems as unpleasant or disagreeable. And he can do this because his intellect is steady, unwavering. On the contrary, the ignorant one's intellect is faltering, is unstable. Hence, he starts dancing in joy with the slightest achievement. And likewise, the slightest loss makes him slump in dismay and dejection. So much so that people commit suicide, as they cannot deal with the failures or losses. It is common to read in newspapers that so-and-so student committed suicide because he got less marks or he failed in the exam. Businessmen also commit suicide when they are unable to repay their loans. Recent cases of Mr. Nitin Desai committed suicide because he was not able to repay his loan. Good times and bad times are a part of everyone's life. Moreover, everything passes. Nothing is permanent in this world. Thus, if you get dejected, depressed by the difficult times, then all that indicates is that your intellect is not steadfast, is not equanimous. It is the fault of your intellect. The fact is that the life is very difficult for those who do not have a steady intellect. Then you are unable to cope with whatever the life throws at you. And the worry, the stress that harbor in your mind, it leads you to various diseases, especially heart disease, high blood pressure, Remember, there is nothing more precious than this life. Everything else is of less importance. Don't create reasons to be in tension. Rather, create reasons to release the tension. Stress is a sign of unsteadiness in your intellect, and unsteady intellect leads you to psychosomatic diseases. The diseases which result because of your psyche, your thinking. The yardstick, the parameter of assessing the state of your mind and the intellect is how you react to pleasant and unpleasant situations in your life. If you remain equipoised in both the situations, your mind is steady, your intellect is steady. But if you start agitating on getting unpleasant and you start dancing in joy when you get pleasant, your mind needs to be on the proper track. It is not steady. So let's go to slok 21 now. Bahyasparsheshva saktatma vindatyatmani yat sukham sabrahma yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam ashnute. Bahyasparsheshva. Bahya means outside, external. Sparsha is the sense object. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasagandha. These are the objects of our senses. So external sense objects is bahyasparshesh. Asaktatma, one who is not attached. Vindati means to enjoy. Atmani, in the self. Yat, which. Sukham, happiness. Brahma yoga, by connection, by concentration in the Parabrahma, in Paramatma. Yukta Atma. Yukta is to get connected. With whom? Atma. Self-connected. Getting connected with your own Atma. That is Yukta Atma, self-connected. Sukham, happiness. Akshayam, unlimited. And Ashnute means to enjoy. So Paramatma says, the one who is not attached to the external sensory world, the material world, that means such a person, he attains the bliss of self-realization. Sukham akshayam ashnute. And such a person who is established in Parabrahma, he attains endless, unlimited joy. Sukham akshayam ashnute. Happiness, akshayam, which is endless, unlimited, he enjoys. Vindati is to enjoy. So the requisite for getting this akshayam sukham is total severance, total cutoff of all attractions, all attachments to the external sensory objects of the material world. So if I were to tell you that I can introduce you to a very famous Bollywood star or starlet, you can have your 1:1 privacy with him or her. What would your reaction be? Or if someone were to invite you for an exotic holiday abroad, all paid by him, what will be the state of your mind? You will jump in joy, shout from the rooftop, and buy new clothes for the occasion. It is another matter that these things don't happen normally in real life. But deep down in our mind, there is always a desire for something like this to happen in our life. That why not somebody makes offer like this to me? So the Lord says that you have these desires in your mind because of the underlying attachments. Otherwise, why will you have desires without attachment? So the main cause is attachment. Attraction for this material world is there as long as there is attachment in the mind. And the one who is still attached to the material world, he cannot experience the divine bliss. Now this is an immutable fundamental rule. What is the rule? The world or the Lord. And as always said in Bhagavad-Gītā, the choice is yours. If you want material world, choice is yours. If you want the Lord, choice is yours. You harbor attraction for this material world because the world is tangible and the God is not tangible. You cannot see the God. You pursue wealth, power, fame. But so many kings, tycoons, leaders have arrived and gone from this world who have managed to stay in this world forever. Anyone has managed to stay in this world forever? Ignoring God and pursuing this perishable, temporary, transient world is a lose-lose situation. To run after material world and forget God is a lose-lose situation for us. And then what is win-win situation? those who choose God, not only do they attain the eternal supreme divinity, but also this material world. Be devoted to the Lord by relinquishing all worldly attachments. Once the Avinashi Paramatma, God, is attained, you will enjoy this very world without bondage. That is what we want. The experience of many is that those who listen to the Gita, they never go back to their drinking habits. Once they experience meditation, they never touch liquor again. Some experts say they never tell people to stop drinking. Some people who are expert in speaking on Gita, they say that we never tell our audience to stop drinking. But they say we only offer a better wine. And all that everyone is seeking is joy. And I offer them the wine that gives them eternal bliss through this spiritual discourse. Okay, let's go to next shloka now. Shloka number 22. Ye hi sansparshaya bhoga dukkhayo naya evate adyantavantah kaunteya nateshu ramate buddha. Paramatma says, sansparshaya, the contact with material world, material senses, bhoga, enjoyment, dukkha, distress, yona, source of adi. Adi is the beginning, anta is the end, adi and anta. Kaunteya, calling for Arjuna, son of Kunti, Arjuna, no, never, teshu, in those, ramate, to take delight, to enjoy that. Buddha is the intelligent person. So Paramatma says, the pleasures arising from interacting with the sensory world, that means this material world, are in effect the source of pain and misery. Yahi sparsha bhoga dukkha yavane evate. It gives you misery and pain, as they have a beginning and an end. Adyantavanta. It starts and it ends. They are temporary. Then Arjuna, the wise, therefore, do not reveal in them. No wise man finds happiness in such pleasures which start and which end. Because they also give you pain and sufferings, and they start and they end. Now the Lord says that the material world, the sense objects appear pleasurable to the world pursuers, and thus they are very endearing to them. But inevitably, they are the source of pain also. Because they are impermanent. They have a beginning and end. Take anything, wine, woman, money, food item, any object. Everything is impermanent. Now let us think. How can you get permanent bliss from an impermanent world? Is it possible? That which is perishable, how can it be a source of endless joy? Everyone wants joy. No one wants sufferings. Yes, that is true. Whether it is you, a child, or an old man, or even a stray dog, everyone wants to feel happy, feels good. Call out lovingly to a stray dog on the street, and he will run to you, wagging his tail. Because joy, happiness is the most fundamental need of every being. But if someone asks you to choose between temporary and endless happiness, what will you opt for? What will you choose? The temporary joy available in one place, or the permanent happiness all over pervading? Will you choose the joy that is dependent on others, or the joy that is self-reliant, independent of others? Pose these questions to yourself and find the answer. If you want endless, eternal, boundless happiness, that will come from the source which is likewise eternal, boundless, and all-pervasive, pristine, and present now and forever. And that source is God. This pleasure can come only from the God. That your desire for the joy that is satisfied, satiated by God, and only comes through the God only. Nothing else can give you that happiness, that joy. Suppose I am holding some beautiful flower in my hand, rose flower or any flower. The people around me can enjoy the look and the fragrance of that flower. But how long they can enjoy it? The flower will dry down after some time. The fragrance will be replaced for some decay or foul smell. This perishable object cannot give you imperishable permanent joy. And this is true for the entire material world. The sooner we understand this, the sooner we can lead a life full of equanimity, wisdom, and peace. That is the purpose Paramatma is giving this shloka to us. Let us go to slok number 23. Shaknoti haivaya sodhum praksharira vimokshanat kamakrodhodbhavam vegam sayukta sasukhi naraha. Shaknoti, that means shakya means to be able to. Shaknoti. Iho, that means in this present body. Ya, pronoun in Sanskrit, one who. Sodhum, sodhum is to tolerate. Prak, prak means before. Sharir, body. Vimokshanat, to get finished, to give up. Kama, desire, kamana. Krodha, anger. Udbhava, generated from. Vegam, vegam is the urge. The urge that comes in our mind is vegam. So, he, yukta, connection. Saha, he, sukhi, happy. Naraha, human being. So, Paramatma says, before giving up the physical body, prak sharira vimokshanat. Prak is before, sharir is body, vimokshanat is to give up. So, prak sharira vimokshanat, before giving up this physical body, the one who is able to withstand the impulses, the urges born out of desire, passion, and anger. Shaknoti haiva sodum prak sharira vimokshanat. Kama krodhodbhavam. It gets udbhav. It gets generated from where? Either kamana or krodh. So the impulses, the urges born out of desire, passion, and anger, such a person is a yogi, who is able to withstand these urges, who is able to control these impulses. He is a yogi, and he alone is a happy man. Sukhi naraha. What is the parameter to know that there is stability, equanimity in your life? How to know? Sri Krishna gives us a yardstick, that it is in the face of a situation where you have a valid reason to be angry, to become lustful. There is valid reason. But you don't get carried away by the wave of anger or the lust. When you don't get carried away, know that you are a yogi. The point to note is that these waves, these forces of anger and passion will come in your life. Not that you read Geeta, so these forces will not come in your life. These impulses will come in every human being's life. It is not that they will disappear, but you don't get swept away in the waves of desire and anger. That is the benchmark to assess where you stand. If you can withstand these impulses, know that you are a yogi. Once Swami Vivekananda was touring USA, and a beautiful lady attended one of his discourses. Later, she expressed a desire to meet him. And Swami Vivekananda, he asked her to meet him in his hotel. When the woman, she met him in the hotel, she directly proposed to him, saying that she wanted to become mother of a child. Only American ladies can talk like this probably. So she said that she was very much impressed with his personality, with his knowledge, with his views, and thus she would be fortunate to bear his child. What would Swami Vivekananda do? So Swami Vivekananda, he replied, there is no one like me. No one will be like me. I am not like my father. I have my unique personality. Thus, if you like me so much, you will have to accept me as your child. From this moment onward, you can regard me as your son. Vivekananda, he stayed steadfast and calm. Shri Krishna says, the one who is able to withstand the impulses of lust, desire, anger, whose intellect remains equanimous, is a yogi. And the Lord says that attain that state of being, achieve this height in spirituality before this body drops dead. Praksharir vimokshanat. Before you are dead, before this body is gone, you should find some moment to control that impulse. So make your choice. Decide what you want to pursue and tread the path with conviction so that you reach your desired destination. If you want the transient, temporary happiness, get this from the sensory, material world. Material world happiness is like a flash of lightning. In the dark night, suddenly there is a flash of lightning in the sky and you see everything for a moment. But the flash occurs only for a moment and then everything becomes dark again. So you want that light or you want the eternal permanent light? As I always said in Gita, choice is yours. You want light for a moment, you want enjoyment, joy for a moment, or you want a permanent eternal joy. Choice is yours. Okay, let's go to Shlok 24 now. Yontas sukhontara ramas tathantar jyotirevayah sayogi brahma nirvanam brahma bhutodhigacchati. Anta sukha, happy from within. Anta sukha. Antaram, actively enjoying within. Antaram. Tatha, and as well as Anta Jyoti, aiming within. Anta Jyoti. Here means the pronoun in Sanskrit, anyone who, Saha is he, Yogi is the Yogi, Brahma Nirvanam, liberation in the Supreme Paramatma, Brahma Bhuta, being self-realized, Brahma Bhuta, Adhigacchati is to attain. So Paramatma says, the one who is happy within, who is at ease with his own self, and who is established in the knowledge of self, such a Sankhya Yogi is unified with Parabrahma and he attains absolute liberation. Yonta sukhontara ramas tathantar jyotirevaya. Anta sukha, one who is happy within himself. As he who, instead of being happy in possessing the material world object, is happy only within the God, with the God within himself. Besides God, none is his object of happiness. He constantly enjoys only God. The outside objects cannot be obtained by anyone forever because it starts and it ends. We saw it, Antavanta. So while the self can be attained by everyone forever, it doesn't go off. Once you attain, you understand yourself, it doesn't go off then. Antaratmaha, one who rejoices within himself, is who, instead of rejoicing in the external pleasures, he rejoices in the self or in the God. In spiritual practice as well as in the practical life, he enjoys every moment. All other knowledge, the mundane knowledge, has a beginning and end, while only this knowledge of the God constantly remains the same without undergoing any change at all. Sa yogi brahma nirvana brahma bhutodi gacchati. A yogi, following the path of knowledge, he realizes that he is established in the God, in the Parabrahma, which shows if he is happy with this and if that affects his ego, which shows his egoistic thinking, as he believes, I am liberated, I have achieved this, I have done this, so long as this ego notion prevails, it means that he is not a God-realized soul at all. That is, he has not yet attained the perfection. He has traveled a long distance, but is still a few steps away. When a Sankhya Yogi identifies himself with the God, only God remains. He does not retain his separate identity at all. He attains perfection or God realization. In Brahmabhuta state, the striver, the devotee, he realizes he is identified with the Parabrahma. But when his egoistic notion, that means individual identity, perishes, nothing remains to release his identification. He himself becomes Parabrahma. So such a person obviously attains the God. So Sayogi Brahma Nirvana Brahma Bhutodi Gacchati. Okay, Shlok 25. Lavante Brahma Nirvana Mrishayah Kshina Kalmashaha Chinnadvaidha Yatatmanas Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha. Important shloka. Paramatma says, I think we should do away with the meaning of the every word. We'll go through the meaning of shloka directly. Paramatma says, those whose sins have been destroyed, whose doubts have been dispelled by the supreme knowledge, who are always working towards welfare of all beings. Sarva Bhuta Hite Rataha is looking after welfare of all beings. who are absorbed in the contemplation of the Lord. Such enlightened beings attain the supreme Parabrahma, the absolute liberation. Now, the one whose sins have been destroyed. This is a tremendous achievement, to destroy your own sins. Because let alone previous sins, every moment that we are committing acts which accrue either the merit or demerit for us. See, actions occur at 3 levels. You will learn this in 18th Adhyay when you go to L4. Physical action through body. Sharira vang mano bhiryat karma prarabhate naraha. This is slok in 18th Adhyay. The physical action through body, the verbal action, that means spoken words, and the mental action, that means the thoughts of goodwill or ill will, egoism, attachment, aversion. These are the mental karmas, mental actions. So what is the process by which the sins can get destroyed? There are 3 ways to destroy all the accrued sins. The first and foremost is contemplation on the higher knowledge. Jnana Prapti. How to do Jnana Prapti? Tadvidya pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshante jnane jnanena sattvadarshana. How to gain that jnana? Go to a tattvadarshini, go to a wise person who has realized the God in his life. We have learned this in the 4th Adhyay. The second method is Yoga Nidra, which is a type of Pratyahara. In Yoga Nidra, we'll discuss this at a little bit more length. In Yoga Nidra, the samskars get awakened and then get destroyed in the fire of detached witnessing. Yoga Nidra includes its complementary items, the limbs, Yama, Niyama, Yogasana, Pratyahara, and Pranayama. Now, what is Pratyahara? Pratyahara means withdrawal of senses from the sense object is Pratyahara. What is Dharana? Dharana means concentration. What is Dhyan? Dhyan is meditation. And ultimately, following these steps, you reach Samadhi, that is the bliss. But before that, you have to follow Yam, Niyam, and Asana. What is Yam? The moral discipline is Yam. Ahimsa, Satya, Brahmacharya, no stealing of things. These are all the Yamas. And what is Niyam? Niyam is moral observance. That is Niyama. And Asana, Asana is your body postures. All of us know what is asanas. So this Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, and Samadhi. These are the steps which are covered in Yoga Nidra. Now, what is Yoga Nidra? That we'll discuss in the next shloka. The third method is Vairagya. The fire of Vairagya blazes consistently. The one in whom this fire of Vairagya, it blazes continuously. That means he has disconnected himself from the material world. This person will invariably offer his entire life in the pursuit of absolute truth. And the one who thus surrenders to the Lord with the resolve to attain the highest truth, all sins of such a person get destroyed. Vairagya is that fire which burns out everything to ashes. So either adopt one of these 3 methods, that means supreme knowledge, Jnana Prapti, or Yoga Nidra, or Vairagya. Or better adopt all 3 of them. Okay. We go to next shloka in which we'll discuss about Yoga Nidra in little bit more details. Shloka number 26 says, Kama krodha viyuktanai yatinai yatachetasam avito brahma nirvanam vartate viditatmanam. Those who are free from anger and desires, Kama krodha viyuktana, that means free from anger and desire, those who have realized in their self, those who have conquered their subconscious mind, yatachetasam, such sadhaks, such devotees, they reside in the absolute liberation, in the supreme bliss of Parabrahma, Paramatma. The Lord says, the one who has conquered, who has understood his subconscious mind. Now that is an exceptional achievement that will be if we can really understand our own subconscious mind. It is particularly evident when you compare with your present state, wherein you find it extremely difficult to control even your conscious mind, wherein you're not even aware of your conscious thoughts. So let alone the subconscious layers of your mind. Your conscious mind you're not able to read properly. Subconscious mind is the source of all your conscious thoughts, your habits, your likes, your dislikes, your vasanas. They lurk in the deepest layer of your mind. Thus, don't get too pleased with yourself when you attain some degree of reduction in the stream of conscious thoughts. To dhyan, dharana, the steps that we discussed in the previous shloka, it is possible that you somehow are able to control your conscious mind, your conscious thoughts during your dhyan or dharana, because even if you control your conscious mind, as long as you have not cleansed the dirt of vasanas lying in the subconscious mind, they will keep on awakening and keep propping as desires in the conscious mind. So you have to do the cleansing of subconscious mind as well. So how can we access the subconscious mind? This is through the method of Yoga Nidra again. Yoga Nidra is the method in which you can not only access the subconscious mind, but to cleanse all your deep lying sanskar and vasanas. Furthermore, Yoga Nidra gives you the experience of being separate from the body. Your Shri Tadatma is gone when you enter into Yoga Nidra. And this won't be achieved by blindly repeating, I am not body, I am not body, I am not body. By repeating this, you don't get dissociated from your body. So, Yoga Nidra is considered to be a very powerful tool for the modern people like us. Now, what is Yoga Nidra? The term Yoga Nidra means the yogic or psychic sleep. It is a state of consciousness between waking and sleeping. It is not fully awake, it is not fully asleep. It is a step between these two. And it is induced by a guided meditation. The most general description of practice is that it combines guided mental imagery with a specific yoga posture called Shavasana. So you enter into Shavasana, lie down like a dead body. The goal of Yoga Nidra is to promote a profound state of relaxation, which differs from sleep in as much as there is still an awareness of one's surrounding. So you're not sleeping, you're not fully awake as well. So Yoga Nidra starts with body placed in Shavasana. The teacher, the trainer, will direct the students to move and rotate their awareness through the different parts of the body, starting from head. And then, step by step, relaxing each part of the body. In turn, remaining motionless. So remaining motionless, you relax each part of your body. That is Yoga Nidra. Okay, we go to next shloka, 27 now. स्पर्शान् कृत्वा बहिर्वायुश्चक्षुश्चैवान्तरे भ्रूः प्राणापानौ समौ कृत्वा नासाभ्यन्तरचारिणौ. Sparshan krutva. Sparshan the sense objects. Krutva to keep. Bahi. Bahi is external. Bahyan unnecessary. Chakshu. Chakshu is your eyes. Antare. Antare bhruvo. Antare means between. Bhruvo means eyebrows. Pran and apan. The up and down moving of air in our body. Inhaling and exhaling. Samau. That means equalize. Krutva to keep. Nasabhyarantara. Within the nostrils. Charino. Blowing. So, Paramatma says, shut out all external objects. Sparshan krutva bahir vayash. Shut out all external objects. Fix the gaze at a point between the two eyebrows. Here in the center. In the center of two eyebrows, gaze at a point between two eyebrows and equalize incoming and outgoing breath. Pran and apan, equalize them. So through this shloka, Lord Krishna is teaching 2-3 important techniques of Raj Yoga to us. These are the techniques of Raj Yoga. Firstly, stop all thoughts contemplation on the external sensory objects. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Stop your senses going from those sense objects. Then focus the gaze on the central point between the eyebrows, here in the center. And then equalize the breath. Prana and apana. Prana coming in, apana going out. So you equalize them. So much so that the person watching you would not even come to know whether you are inhaling or exhaling. That kind of equanimity has to come in your prana and apan. Of course, this needs to be learned from a trainer, from a expert. Any kind of pranayam, I think it is better to learn from a yoga, from a trainer or from a teacher. Doing it on our own may be incorrect at many times. Okay, Shlok 28. Yatendriya mano buddhir mudir moksha parayanah vigadecha bhayakrodho yassada mukta eva saha. Yat, controlled, indriya, senses, mana, mind, buddhi, intelligence, muni, the transcendentalist, moksha, the liberation, salvation, parayanaha, being so destined, vigata, vigat means to give up, discard, ichha, wishes, bhaya, fear, krodha, anger, mukta, liberated. So Paramatma says, the one who is the master of his senses, mind and intellect. Yatendriya mano buddhi indriya. So yatendriya mano buddhir mudir moksha parayanaha. One who is the master of his senses, mind and intellect, who is free from desire. Vigadecha bhaya krodho. Is free from desire, fear and anger. Such a sage, such a yogi is liberated for eternity. What else you want? If you are in control, if you are a master of your senses, mind and intellect, and you have no desire, no fear and no anger, what remains to be achieved then? You have achieved everything in life. The wise one uses his senses wisely, applying his vivek buddhi, that means the discriminatory power. He is the master of his senses and not the other way around. He controls the senses, not that the senses control him. Such a yogi who has subjugated his senses, whose mind is contemplating upon the material, he is not contemplating on the material world, who has fixed his gaze at the midpoint between the eyebrows, and who has equalized his incoming and outgoing breath. Samokruto nasa bhendracharano pranapano, as we read in the earlier sloka. Such a yogi is most certainly eligible for attaining the moksha, liberation. It is simply not possible that such a yogi will not taste the amrut, the nectar of moksha, in this very lifetime. If you can achieve these 3-4 things, you can achieve moksha even while living. One doesn't have to die for getting moksha. We too can certainly touch these dizzying heights of attaining moksha in this life itself. This pinnacle of spiritual evolution, which is explained in this sloka. But the condition is that you have to sincerely follow each and every word spoken by Lord Krishna. Thus, we should not think that we can attain this height just by focusing our gaze between the eyebrows or by equalizing the breath for some time. No, that's not enough. Yatendriya mano buddhir is required. Vigadecha bhaya krodha is required. So this is also required in addition to those 2-3 steps. Your mind needs to be free from desire, anger and fear. No attraction, no attachment to anything or anyone in this phenomenal world. Moreover, the resolve to achieve this state of being needs to be irrevocably steadfast, unwavering. Yes, I want to know this ultimate truth. That desire has to be unwavering and steadfast in your intellect. Then only this can be achieved. So let us go on to the last sloka and conclude this adhyay, Karma Sannyas Yoga. Bhoktaram yajna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surudam sarva bhutanai jnatva mam shanti mrichati. Bhoktaram, the beneficiary, the enjoyer. Yajna is yajna, sacrifice. Tapasam, tapa, that means the austerities. Sarvaloka, that means of all the lokas. Maheshwaram, Supreme Lord, Lord of Lords. Maheshwaram. Surudam, the well-wisher. Sarva, all. Bhutanam, all living entities. Jnatva, by knowing this. Mama, me, that means Lord Krishna. Shanti, gacchati, relief from the material world. And Shanti gacchati, obtaining supreme peace. Now he who attains supreme peace, Paramatma says, Bhuktaram yadapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram surudam sarva bhutanai jnatma mam shanti mrichati. He attains supreme peace who knows me means Lord Krishna, to be the ultimate enjoyer, receiver of all yajnas, all tapas. Here, Krishna means the cosmic level of Krishna, the universal, supreme consciousness of Krishna, not the Krishna who is sitting in front of Arjuna. That Krishna was a human manifestation of Krishna. Here Krishna is talking from his cosmic level, universal, supreme consciousness level. So Paramatma says, he attains supreme peace who knows me to be the ultimate enjoyer, receiver of all yajnas, all tapas, who knows that I am the supreme lord of entire universe, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, and I am the supreme well-wisher of all living beings. Surudam Sarva Bhutanai. The Lord says that all the yajnas performed in this world are being done for me. Yajna, as per Bhagavad-Gītā, is our kartavya karma. Our prescribed duty is a yajna. Day in and day out, if we are performing our prescribed duties, we are performing yajna. So Paramatma says, whatever yajnas, kartavya karma you are performing, they all reach me. I am the one who is the enjoyer of fruits of your yajnas and tapas. Yajna we have seen, what is tapa? Tapa is while performing our prescribed duty, our kartavya karma, we come in front of many situations which are sometimes favorable, which are unfavorable. But tiding over all those favorable and unfavorable things, we still keep performing our kartavya karma, our prescribed duties, is a tapa. So Paramatma says, you are yajna and you are tapa, I am the enjoyer of the fruits of your tapa and your yajna. Shri Krishna says, this from the level of cosmic level, his cosmic level, universal level. The Lord says, I am the love, I am the loved one, and the lover too. Lover too is none other than me. One who knows and experiences this truth, he attains supreme peace. Now, what is peace and supreme peace? Peace is one which we attain when we cut off, we sever our attachment with the material world. That gives us a lot of mental peace. All anxieties of mind vanish when we break away from the material world. All disturbance, anxiety in the mind is because of our attachment to the material world. I want this, I want that. My neighbor has this, I don't have this. This material world creates all the havoc in our mind. So once you're cut off from this material world, what you get is peace. But Paramatma here is talking about supreme peace. What is supreme peace? You get peace, but after getting that peace, cutting off your relations with the material world, you connect to Paramatma. When you connect to Paramatma, that is the supreme peace. So peace and supreme peace. Paramatma says, you attain supreme peace if you know that I am the ultimate enjoyer, receiver of all your yajnas and tapas, and if you know that I am the supreme lord of entire universe, and if you know that I am the supreme well-wisher of all beings, then you can attain supreme peace. So this is the end of this Adhyay, Karma Sannyas Yoga. We stop here. We will read the Pushpika. Om Tat Saditi Śrīmad-Bhagavadgītā Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyāyāṃ Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnārjuna Samvāde Karma Sannyasa Yogo Nama Panchamo Dhyayah. Om Shri Krishnārpanamastu. Now the forum is open for all of you to raise your questions. If you have any, please raise your questions and I will try my best to reply to your questions. Thank you so very much for joining today. Jai Shri Krishna to all.
That was an enlightening session, and Bhaiya dealt in detail, explained in detail about that is about the chapter Karma Sannyasi Yoga as well as Yoga Nidra and Raj Yoga also. Now it's time for question and answers. I request those who want to ask questions to raise their hands and switch on their cameras and wait for their turn. Please note, please make the questions precise so that more questions can be taken. A request to those who have not downloaded Learngeeta.com app to please download the same, and you can access all Vivechan exam, registration, etc., etc. And now another announcement also. Kids session have also started. Vivechan 2 exclusively for kids. So you may ask your children to watch the session even though they are not attending Gita classes. Over to you, Bhaiya, for question and answer session.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna.
It is always a blessing to hear from you, Bhaiya.
Thank
I
you.
want to know, what does Vaidya means in our with people like us who are in grass.
Yeah, Vairagya, it is possible for family people also to start Vairagya. Vairagya means not to go and live in Himalaya or Pariwar. Continue to live with your family, no problem. Continue to enjoy the company of your friends, no problem. But without attachments. Keep performing your prescribed duty to each and everyone around you, including your family members. But doing that without attachment is Vairagya. Not expecting any return reward from your performance of duty towards them is Vairagya. So living in family does not mean you cannot take Vairagya. It is impossible for all of us to go and live in forest or in Himalaya, but Bhagavad Gita teaches us the way how to gain Vairagya. Abhyas and Vairagya. Abhyas and Vairagya. These two things Paramatma has taught to Arjuna also. When Arjuna had said it is very difficult to concentrate, one is wandering here and there, Paramatma says Abhyas. Keep doing the same thing again and again is Abhyas and Vairagya. Unless you disconnect yourself from material world, how can you focus on the main objective of your life? So disconnecting from material desires is Vairagya. Disconnecting from attachment which bind us in so many ways is Vairagya. The sooner we learn this definition of Vairagya,
Okay.
better it is. Yes, Pujaji?
And like being happy when you get things, like, and being happy with getting when we get things of our choice, we get happy and we don't also is that normal?
Yeah, but so long as it remains external, it is normal. But if you take it internally in your mind, and if your action starts getting affected by that gain or loss, then that is a problem, which Paramatma does not like. If you become unhappy, shedding tears is not a crime. If you become happy, laughing is not a crime. But those tears and those laughter should not affect your antakaran. Affect your antakaran means your actions in future will get affected, because then you are getting bondage to those tears and those laughters, isn't it? So outside things outside, inside inside. Keep all activities for outside world only. Which are outside, they are outside. Internally, we should always be awakened that I am not the one who's going to get bondage because of these external things in my life. Right? Yes. Any other questions?
Shakuntala ji.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna.
We are learning in these slokas about Jivudu, Jivatma, and Paramatma, that is Antaryami. I want to know whether this Jivatma, Antaryami, and this consciousness, all the three are the same, one and the same, or any difference is there? And another thing, life force, life and energy, prana also is there. We are talking about those things also. Whether they are different or they are also same. Just I want to know this.
Okay, first thing first. You said first question was about Jivatma, Paramatma and consciousness, right?
Yes. Antaryami also.
So Antaryami is that fragment of Paramatma who is in us.
That is Jivatma.
But our Jivatma is a fragment of Paramatma. In everybody's heart, I am established, I am staying, I am residing. Mamai Mamsho Jivaloke, my fragment is there in every Jivatma. That is our Antaryami, who is a witness. Whatever good or bad we do, he keeps watching what we are doing. It doesn't interfere in our activities, nor does it change our thoughts. The freedom of action, the freedom of thinking is given to us. But our Antaryami, he keeps a silent watch on every thought that comes to our mind, or every kriya, every action that happens to our Sharira Vangmanobhir, Sharir, Vacha, and our mind. So that is Antaryami. Okay. So there is no difference between Jivatma and Antaryami. Our Jivatma is Paramatma only. Okay. So Antaryami is Paramatma only. And consciousness. Consciousness is a storage, is a godown of different vikars or different karmas that we have been accumulating for last several lives. That is the consciousness. There are two ways we look at consciousness. One is the consciousness, another is subconsciousness. Subconsciousness is filled with entire storage of all previous karmas. And when those stored karmas from subconscious mind, they prop up and they start ruling our conscious mind, they advise our conscious mind to get into act, to do some karma, then our conscious mind directs our senses, our indriyas, to get attached, to get connected with the respective sense objects and get into that karma. So that is our consciousness. But as we have learned in this adhyay, if you want to cleanse your karmas, you have to start from your subconscious mind. And how to cleanse subconscious? We have discussed 3 ways of doing it. So that is the difference between conscious, Paramatma, and Antaryami and Jivatma. What else you said?
Other things and life force, energy, life and prana.
See, Chetana.
Chaitanya also. What is Chaitanyam and consciousness is the one and the same? What we call as a Chaitanya. A consciousness of Chaitanya is same or consciousness or Antaryami is
different. Consciousness is what we discussed just now. Chaitanya, Chaitanya or energy, life energy is one and the same thing. The energy because of which our body is moving. I give this story again and again. We might have heard this story from me sometime earlier also. There was a very bulky, strong Marwadi. He was weighing around 140 kgs of weight. He was living in an apartment on 4th floor of a building. There was no lift in that. So doctors told him, you are overweight. If you don't walk every day, your overweight will kill you one day. So take a walk every day of 3, 4, 5 kilometers. Try to reduce your weight. So that poor fellow used to get down from his apartment on 4th floor where there was no lift. He used to climb down all the 4 staircases and come down, take a walk of 3, 4 kilometers, again go back, again climb back all the 4 staircases. One day, when he came down for a walk, he walked hardly a kilometer and he collapsed. The people around him, they recognized him because he was a grocery shop owner, and grocery shop owners are famous in that locality. So they recognized, oh, this is a fellow, he's that Marwadi who is owning that grocery shop in our area. So with great difficulty, they put his body in the car and they brought him to his apartment, his building. But how to take that body to the 4th floor in his house? It was impossible to lift that body, heavy 140 kg body. So 15-20 people by changing hands, somehow they lifted that body, and by changing hands, stopping here, stopping there, stopping on every landing, they somehow managed to take his body up. Now this body was doing all the walking every day, climbing down the staircase, going for a walk, coming back, climbing again all the 4 floors, again getting down, going to the shop, again coming in the evening, climbing everywhere. So this bulky body, which was not possible for others to handle, the Chetana, the life force in him was handling that. And we have learnt in Gita that Chetana is Paramatma. That Chetana is Paramatma's devotee. When you will learn 10th Adhyay, you will understand, or even 13th Adhyay, that Chetana in our body is nothing but the life force, and that life force is nothing but Paramatma's existence, Paramatma's presence in us. So that life force or Chetana is one and the same thing. And that shows the presence of Paramatma in us. If the Chetana goes out from our body, what remains? Nothing. Dead body is of no use. Even our close relatives will say, oh, dispose of this body, don't keep it in the house. Isn't it? So the life, so long as the life energy, the prana is there in body, till such time only the body is valued. The moment the prana leaves the body becomes useless, redundant.
So Chetana and Prana is one and the same.
Yeah. Chetana and prana
Prana is
energy
the
is same.
same.
Yeah.
So Jivatma only our Antaryami.
Yeah.
So a fragment of God is Jivatma only.
Yes. Jivatma is fragment of God only.
Yes. Apart from, so in our body, that's Jivatma is residing in the body.
Yes.
Okay, that means in the Jivatma, some other Antaryami is not there. Jivatma itself is an Antaryami.
In our Jivatma is a Paramatma only. That's why people say when they attain Atma Jnan is equivalent to Brahma Jnan. Because there is no difference between our Atma and Brahma. So Atma Jnan, why we want to we emphasize so much on self-realization. Self-realization is nothing else but realizing that Paramatma is no different than me. He resides in me as well. But to realize this, one has to follow the proper prescriptions detailed in Gita.
Okay.
Leave all attachments. Vikadecha bhaya krodho. Give up all that. And then only we can realize that self in us. And that self in us is a fragment of Paramatma. So Atma Jnan and Brahma Jnan are not very different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Deepak Bhaiya ji.
Yeah, Shri Krishna.
Shri Krishna, Deepak Bhaiya ji.
Thank you. It's my first time attending a full session here and my first time listening to you. So I thank you very much. I feel blessed to have come across this. And my question is more relating to what you were speaking about, the subconscious and yoga nidra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we all go through traumas in our lives, and I have had my fair share of trauma. And I have been studying, attempting study of Vedanta for a couple of decades now. I feel it has helped me. It has helped me control my anger. I feel myself a lot more peaceful than I was when I first started. However, so this has helped me in my waking state. However, my dream state is still very much disturbed. I have a lot of anxiety and a lot of, dreams, and I wake up tired, more tired than before. So I don't know where yoga nidra could come in. I just want a revalidation of yoga nidra from you as a process that might be helpful to people in my situation and other people.
Okay. You see, Yoga
That
Nidra,
cleansing.
Yoga Nidra, as we briefly discussed, one has to go to a master and take the lessons from him. But in brief, Yoga Nidra is you lie down in Shavasana. Then your teacher from your head, he will touch your head. Okay. And slowly you will start, because Yoga Nidra is a stage where you are not fully awake, you are not fully sleeping also. So you are aware of what is going on around you. You're not sleeping. Your mind is awake. But you are not very active as well. It is yoga as well as nidra both. So he starts touching each part of your body. He starts from the head. He touches your head. And then your head starts feeling very cool, very relaxed, very empty. Then he moves further down between the Buror Madhya, here. Then he further moves down on your eyes. So likewise, he goes down and down and down on each part of your body, making each part of your body to go into sleep, to make it quiet. It reduces the anxiety level tremendously. See, the anxiety in our life is due to our connection with the material world. Through Yoga Nidra, if we are quietening each part of our body and disconnecting it from the material world, the anxiety level has to go down. And when the anxiety level goes down, the peace has to come in our mind. And when the mind becomes peaceful, your sleep has to be peaceful. But it's a process which is to be done under the guidance of an expert, and it is to be done for a continuous period of time. Not that you take yoga nidra lesson for one day and next day you say I should be all right. It is a practice, it is a yoga. And as we know, every yogic practice has to be done continuously, niyamit. It is not that done today and not done tomorrow. So the results of this yoga nidra can definitely be seen over a period of say 3 months or 4 months. Not over a period of 2-3 days, but you need some time for yoga nidra.
It took me years to overcome anger.
Yeah.
It took me years to overcome anger. So I guess this could also take years.
It will take years. It will not take years. Now, so since this desire is strong in you that you should cut down your anger. See, ultimately, the strong desire has to be then in our mind. I want to achieve this. Then the desire drives us to the proper route. And then we start taking proper action. Our karmas are driven by the proper desire. So if you have a strong desire that I want to have a peaceful mind, I want to have less anxiety in my life, accordingly, automatically, your mind, body, intellect will start going in that direction. So you go through Bhagavad-Gītā, go through contemplation, Manan Chintan of Bhagavad-Gītā shlokas, listen to the experts. And then if you try to follow some prescriptions of Bhagavad-Gītā, it will not take years. It will definitely not take years. It will happen soon. But the desire has to be there. And then your disconnection from the material world has to be implemented in all possible ways. If you say that I will get connected with the material world, my desires will never get reduced, and on the other side, I want peace of mind and I want to attain Paramatma, this is self-contradictory. Attaining Paramatma and attaining material world are two entirely different things. Choice is yours, as we discussed today also, whether you want the world or whether you want the Paramatma. If you want Paramatma, you have to disconnect with the world. If you want world, okay, that's your choice. So choice has to be made very, very clear in our mind. Which direction I want to take.
Subscriptions. You have answered another question that I had in my mind, but you have already answered that question. But I have one small another question just to see what is the connection of our subconscious to our sukshma sharira. Is that, I mean, is there a...
Yeah. There is a connection. See, when our prana leaves this body, our atma leaves this body, and it goes on its next journey to the next life, the body drops dead. The relatives take the body to the crematorium, and according to the whatever religious principles they follow, they will take care of the body. But the sukshma sharir and the conscious mind, they will travel to the next world. And that next, the subconscious mind, which we discussed, I think, in last session also, probably you will not there. See, every karma that we do in this life or previous lives, every karma leaves an imprint on our antakaran, our mind, intellect, our subconscious mind, and our aham. Aham means our I. So it leaves an imprint, whether it is sattvic karma or rajasic karma or tamasic karma. I always say that this Gita Vivechan, what we are discussing, is a sattvic karma. So it is leaving an imprint in our antakaran. Every week it is leaving an imprint in our antakaran of a sattvic karma. So likewise, at the end of life, we carry three baggages with us. One baggage is of sattva, another baggage is of raja, third baggage is of tamo. These baggages which we carry to the next life, we don't carry our property and money. Definitely not. These three baggages of our karma, imprints of karma, what we carry to the next life, are our samskars. And our subconscious mind is carrying these three baggages. So next birth, whatever family we take, depending upon our karma. If we are fortunate enough, we may again take the birth of a human being. in an appropriate family. If the baggage of our sattvic karma is bigger, we may get birth in a better family than what we have got in this life. And our sadhana towards Paramatma may start from where we have left in this life. That we'll discuss when we go to the 6th Adhyay. The next Adhyay is 6th Adhyay. Nothing good that we do goes west. Wherever we are living in this life, the next life starts from that step onwards. That is a guarantee from Krishna. So keep doing the good. Never think you are late. Every day, think that I am doing good and good every day. One day one has to make a beginning. Whether it is late or early, that is a different thing. But whatever good we are doing in this life, it is not going west. It is a guarantee from Lord Krishna. Nahi kalyan krit kashte durgatin tata gacchati. Whosoever does any kalyankari kritya, sattvic karma, uski durgati kabhi hoti nahi hai. He never meets a downfall. And it is carried forward to the next life. So continue with your thoughts, what you are having at the moment, walking on this path of spirituality. It is going to help you in this life as well as in the next life. Rest assured.
Thank you.
Tripuraj.
Tripuraji, you have to unmute now.
Thank you so much, Guruji.
Thank
I'm
you.
feeling blessed to hear this class. You told with ego we can't correct God. Then any practice for that get rid of ego?
Yes, there are steps. See, ego comes in our mind because of our superiority complex. Either because the property that we own or the extra knowledge that we have, isn't it? Or the beautiful body that Paramatma has given us, the charm that is there in our body
Even
or our face.
inferiority is under ego or not? Inferiority
Huh?
comes under ego or not?
Superiority comes under ego. Inferiority comes under complex, inferiority complex.
Okay.
We are talking of ego. Both are not good. Inferiority complex also not good, and superiority complex, which you call as ego, is also not good.
Yes.
And the ego comes in our mind, which increases the distance between us and Paramatma, is because of these 2-3 things. Either we are rich, or we are very good looking, or we are very knowledgeable, or we are very having great contacts in the society. So something which we feel strongly good about us, that boosts our ego. And once the ego is getting boosted, we are getting disconnected from Paramatma. Paramatma does not like ego.
Yes.
What for we should have ego? Is the body, mind, intellect, senses given to us? Is it our own creation?
No.
Have we decided I will get born in this family as a human being? It is the nature that has decided to give us human life based on the past karmas. It is the Paramatma, is the Prakriti, the nature that has given us this body and whatever achievements we have so far in this life. Who are we? We are not the doer.
Yes.
So this sense of doership increases our ego. I have done it. If I was not there, this fellow would have been on the road. So this is what we keep boosting our ego every now and then. And this ego boosting is becomes the cause of our downfall in the life. Because ego distances ourselves from any spiritual sadhana. Because in spiritual sadhana, the first and foremost thing is surrender. Now, egoistic person doesn't want to surrender. He'll say, why should I surrender? I have earned everything on my own. I am doing everything on my own. Why should I surrender? I can chant Paramatma's name, but I will not surrender. If you don't surrender, then you will not attain Paramatma. So the main problem of egoistic people is that they don't have the sentiment of surrendership. Okay. Any other
Then
questions?
how you feel? That means, how do you think?
How do you?
God is doing everything like that, we have to think.
Yeah. See, if you want to remove ego from your mind, start appreciating others. When others appreciate you, start ignoring that appreciation.
Okay.
Tell them that you are appreciating me. It is your greatness. I am not worthy of your appreciation. It is your greatness that you are finding something good in me.
Yes.
But at the same time, start appreciating others, because every person has some good quality. Even a very bad person has some good quality in him.
Yes.
Our normal tendency is to find faults even in a good person. If you want to sacrifice your ego, learn the practice of finding good points even in the bad person and
Okay.
appreciate him. The day you start appreciating others, your ego automatically starts reducing.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is one way to reduce your ego. Appreciate others. When others appreciate you, ignore and tell them, it is your greatness. You are appreciating me. Actually, I am not worthy of your appreciation. Thank you for that. Enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Namaste. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
As I told you last time, I am unable to observe whatever you are talking. Sometimes I observe, sometimes I can't observe. But when you YouTube, Learn.com, again to go through, only Hindi sections are there. English is, I am not unable to get.
Oh, okay. You see, Geeta Pariwar is having the app. You can download that app on your mobile and you can open Vivechana folder. You can put my name. You can put English as language. You can select the adhyay of which you want to learn, hear again the Vivechan, and you can hear it through Geeta Pariwar app also.
Again, you tell me, sir, how to open? Can you tell
It's
me?
a mobile app. You can download the app, or if you are using the browser, you can type vivechan.geetaparivar.
Yeah,
Learngeeta.com/vivechan. That also you can type.
Yes.
Learngeeta. Or Malaji can give you better ways how to open that Vivechan.
Yeah. So Learngeeta.com app, bhaiya, you can go to Learngeeta.com and there is Vivechan. You can see in the bottom there are different this thing. You have to go to Vivechan and then select Vikas Vaidya. And even in YouTube, if you go YouTube Geeta Pariwar and Vikas Vaidya, so you will get all the videos of Vikas Ji there. That is also very easy. YouTube.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bhaiya, take bhaiya.
Just Sri Krishna. I have one question. What is the difference between Jiva and Atma? And which thing travel from life to life?
Which still?
What travel? Jiva travel or Atma travel from one life to other life?
Yes.
Our soul, our Atma travels. See, the word is Jivatma. So it includes Jiva as well as Atma, both.
Both are same. Jiva and Atma both are same.
Jivatma is one definition, Jivatma. That is our soul. What we say, our soul, our Atma, that takes the body in the next life, different body in the next life, depending upon the karmas that we have done in this life.
So only Atma travel or some other part of the body also travel with?
No, only Atma, only Atma. No other physical part of the body goes. If you take a body scan, can you see the Atma? Can you see the soul? Even if you take a full body scan, we cannot see. It is something which is beyond senses. It can be only experienced through knowledge, through wisdom. It cannot be seen by eyes, by indriyas or. So that Atma is the one which takes us to the next life. That Atma, he has taken this body. Atma is not depending on body. The body is depending on Atma. Atma was there when our body was not there.
No, mostly why they say Jiva and Atma. Most of the time in spiritual reading, we read, sometimes we read Jiva, sometimes we read Atma. That's why I'm asking what is the difference between Jiva and Atma.
See, sometimes Jiva may means life force, the Chetana in us. The example that I was giving. But sometimes Jivatma word is also used. Sometimes people use Jiva, sometimes Atma, sometimes Jivatma. Ultimately, it means the soul in which the fragment of Paramatma is present. Whether you call it Atma, soul, Jivatma, is one and the same thing.
After leaving the body, Atma travel in different lokas or it remain in space?
It depends. If you don't find an appropriate specie based on the karmas that we have done so far in this life as well as previous life, we have to wait till an appropriate body is available according to the karmas that we have done. There is a saying that some atmas may have to wait even for 3 years, waiting for an appropriate place to take rebirth. Unless they find that appropriate place, the atmas will have to keep moving here and there, waiting for some body. As soon as they get the body, they hurriedly enter into that body.
So Atma decide to go to other body or other
Atma does
form
not decide.
or
Atma does not decide anything. It is our karmas, the balance sheet of our karmas, which is seen by the Prakriti, the nature. That karmas decide what body the Atma is deserving to gain in the next life. Atma does not decide anything.
So you say the only Atma travels, then karma also travel with the Atma.
See, the karmas, of course, definitely, because karmas decide the further travel of our Atma. Atma is not free. Atma is bounded by the karmas that we do, because Atma always thinks that this body is me. The moment we detach ourselves from body, the soul becomes free and it becomes one with Paramatma. But since the Atma always thinks, Atma always thinks
becomes free from karma, how the Atma becomes free from karma then?
Atma will become free from karma when every karma that he does is a nishkam karma. That means two things from the karma are to be removed. One is the sense of doership. Kartrutva bhiman is to be relinquished. And second thing that is to be relinquished is the karma phala, expectation of return reward. If we remove these two things while doing any karma, every karma that we do becomes a nishkam karma, and then your Atma becomes bondage free. That is why Geeta teaches us to enter into nishkam karma.
Moksha? What is moksha?
Moksha is something wherein you don't get the birth again. You get rid of the cycle of birth and death. Your karmas put a bondage on you, and your karmas compel you to take the cycle of birth and death. The moment, the life in which you attain moksha, either by following bhakti yoga, jnana yoga, sankhya yoga, or nishkam karma yoga, when you attain liberation, moksha, mukti, then you don't get birth again. If you don't get birth again, that means you become one with Paramatma. You become a part of Paramatma. And then you don't have to come again in this material world at all. And that is the objective Geeta is telling us to attain. That attain for moksha. Never put your sight only on heaven, because heaven is temporary. The day your punya sanchay, your punya karma is exhausted, you would again come back in this cycle of birth and death. But the day in the life when we obtain moksha, then you are liberated forever. You become a part of Paramatma forever. There is no occasion when you have to come back in this life again of material death, birth and death, and again live a very stressful life.
So you say that the karma travel along with the Atma and it controls the birth. So karma is also some energy or what?
Karma is not energy. Karma is a record of our actions that we have taken, good or bad. As I said, we do three types of karma.
Record travels in which form? Record travels with the Atma, which form?
I beg your pardon?
You say that the karma is the record. So means the record also travel with the karma, record also travel with the Atma.
The Atma doesn't carry the record. It is the nature, the Prakriti that has all the notings, all the records of every jiva that does karmas in his life, this life or previous lives. We don't keep any balance sheet of our karmas. It is kept by the divinity. It is kept by the Prakriti, by the nature. We don't do anything. Otherwise, we'll do some hera-fairy in that karma also. So we don't do anything. We are not entitled to keep balance sheet of our own. The Prakriti, the nature keeps the balance sheet of our karmas. And that balance sheet decides what next life we are deserving to get.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Raghavendra ji, आपको please unmute now.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna.
I am a little confused today. See, you said that Prakriti is which makes us do things, okay, according to karmas, right? Then according to the karmas, I am the doer that time, right? Because of what I have done, I have that karma. When Prakriti is making me do, okay, then how can my karmas, good or bad karmas, and one is that I have no control over my karmas. Okay, Prakriti is making me do all good or bad. One is that, and second thing, Krishna has detached. He has left it on the Prakriti. When he has left everything on Prakriti, which is taking care, which is making us do good or bad, then what is that Krishna, which is what is there in Krishna for which we are praying and doing? What he is controlling in us?
Okay.
So
Okay,
it is
I
totally
understand
Krishna.
your point.
You got.
Okay. Okay, I understand your point. See, the message that we have learned today was that we are having this sense of doership, that I am doing this. In 5th Adhyay, in the last session, we have learned shloka, Pashyan Shrunvan Sprushan Jigran Natnan Gachan Lopain Pralapan Visujan Grundan Mission Napi. So all the small actions are happening without our knowledge, without our noticing. And we are not the doer of those actions. Are we? Do we decide when to move our eyelids? When do we decide to breathe or not to breathe? Everything is an automatic process that keeps on going on. The moving up and down of our eyelids is a process that keeps on going on. So these karmas that are happening through us, when we are not the doer of those karmas, why we follow a different rule for other karmas that I am the doer? When this body, this intellect, this mind, and these senses are under the ownership of Prakriti, the owner is Prakriti, the nature that has given us this life, depending upon past karmas that we have. Why do we claim that I am the doer, I am the body? The moment we claim that I am the doer and I am the body, then you get bondage to the karmas that you do. If you are a doer, face the consequences. If you detach yourself from body and do every karma as a nishkam karma, then you are no more a doer. If you are no more a doer, then you become bondage free. The moment you become bondage free, you get rid of birth and death cycle. Because you are no bondage, your balance sheet is clean. It is the bad balance sheet that forces us to take the life and death again. But if the balance sheet is clean and clear, then there is no question of coming back here. We come here to repay our debts or to gain our rewards. When the balance sheet is clean, no reward and no punishment, go back, never come here again.
Okay, first question solved. Now, how does Krishna come into picture? Where he comes? Because everything is Prakriti, and we have to pray, we have to do all the things, no? And what is that we have to ask Krishna that so that see, he is not at all. He says he is not at all related. Everything is on Prakriti and you.
Correct.
What I'm trying, I hope.
Okay. See, it may create a misunderstanding that if Prakriti is doing everything, if I am not a doer, then tomorrow if I kill somebody, I can always say that I didn't kill it. The Prakriti killed him. Isn't it? So you will say that I am a non-doer. I did not kill. Prakriti killed him. So So why should I get bondage? Why should I get the papa karma in my name? Isn't it? Why should I spoil my balance sheet for something which is done by Prakriti?
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing is, whatever karmas you are doing, if you are doing your kartavya karma, your life is given to you by Krishna to perform your kartavya karma. Bhagavad-Gītā is for teaching Arjuna to remind him what is his kartavya karma which he had forgotten. He forgot that he was there to fight the war. He is a Kshatriya. His prescribed duty is to fight the war against his enemy who has thrusted war on him. He forgot his kartavya karma. Since he forgot his kartavya karma, Shri Krishna Bhagavan had to tell him this Gita, that never forget your kartavya karma. Now, killing somebody, can it be our kartavya karma? No. Unless you are in army, which we discussed last time, if you are in army and if you are not killing your enemy, then you are running away from your kartavya karma. But if you are a normal civilian and if you kill a person on the street, then you are a criminal. Because killing a person on the street is not your kartavya karma. But killing your enemy on the border is your kartavya karma. So the same karma can either be your kartavya karma or can be a crime. So Bhagavad-Gītā and Lord Krishna is explaining this way of life. That the way of life, the best way of life to live for people like us is to follow our prescribed duty, our kartavya karma, and while following those kartavya karma, take two precautions. One is relinquish, give up your kartrutva bhiman, sense of doership, and give up, relinquish your expectation of return of your karma. If we follow these two things, then we are free.
Thank you.
This is where Krishna comes in picture, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
I think all the questions are over. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Vikas Vaidya ji for clearing the doubts of our sadhaks. On behalf of Geeta Pariwar and myself, I extend sincere thanks to the technical team consisting of Santosh Singh ji and all those who have been at the backstage for their relentless and efficient efforts in making the session a great success. May I take this opportunity to thank all those who attended this session. Please do continue your Gita sadhana and attend these sessions to enrich your spiritual knowledge. Today, Shruti Gaur Didi is going to recite Prarthana to mark the end of the session. Didi is a homemaker from Ahmedabad with interest in reading, singing and cooking. Didi joined Geeta Pariwar in February this year and is a co-trainer in Elwood. She has started giving seva very early. So please all be motivated by this. May we all seek the blessings of Shri Krishna. Didi, please.
जय श्री कृष्ण। योगेशं सच्चिदानन्दं वासुदेवं व्रजप्रियं धर्मसंस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। जय श्री कृष्ण।
Thank you, Didi, for that melodious prarthana. I request all of you to be there for Hanuman Chalisa. Vaidya, please. Santosh Bhaiya.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरन रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि करहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा गानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन वसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हारे देते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
Thank you all for being with us till now. Tanushree Didi, thanks to you also. May our week ahead be brighter and more beautiful. We shall see you back on another enlightening session next week. Till then.